Good morning, students. Let us discuss the remaining part of the lesson, impact of technology on livelihoods. Yesterday we discussed about the impact of technology on agriculture. So after introducing technology in agriculture, so production increased in agriculture and so many changes came in production process also. So because of availability of water, the farmers are able to cultivate two crops in a year, and even the laborers are changed their working habit. They are working as daily labor at present. So because of technology, some laborers lost their traditional jobs also. Okay, in any change there is a merits and demerits. Okay, so next one, decline in the use of animal power. Previously, for every agriculture activity, they used animals like bullocks and cows. Okay, other animals for plowing, for transporting the goods, they used bullock carts more. Now, in that place, tractors are introduced. So tractors began to be used for transportation as well as agricultural operations. Now, minor tools used in plowing, sowing, weeding, and harvesting also underwent considerable change. Once upon a time, plowing done with the help of animals, but now we are using tractors for plowing the fields. Even for sowing, weeding also, we introduced different type of machinery. Over the years, the use of animals has declined considerably. So we can see in this graph, so it explains about how the use of animals declined. So in 1951, so 91% in agricultural activities we used animals. So next 2% mechanical machinery and 1% electrical. So gradually that was changed. So use of animals are declined. In 61, that is decreased to 95. In 71, 79, 81, 48, 91, 35, 2001, 18, 2009. At present, very few farmers are using animals in agricultural activities. Now, all farmers not having bullock carts and wooden plows. So those are replaced by tractors. So now the mechanical tools or electrical tools are increased. So in 1951 we used 1 or 2%. Later, gradually the use of mechanical and electrical tools were increased, like 16, 5, 32, 20, 35, 30, 55, 27. Now in 2009, so mechanical inputs we are using up to 62% and electrical pump sets, all those 25%. So those were increased gradually and more. Okay, so because of technology, the use of animal declined. Small farmers are not able to use modern agricultural techniques because these can only be used in large sized farmers who are having more land or who are rich can use these technical tools. Okay, so the small farmers are laborers, so they lose their opportunities. That's why they look for employment in urban areas, in other areas, or in others fields. So that's why So laborers or small farmers started migrating from urban areas for work or for livelihood. Okay, next. Loss of employment because of combined harvester. So already you know combined harvester. So widely we are using combined harvester in paddy harvesting. So it can do 2 or 3 works at a time. Okay, so combined harvester, it is also called CH, is one of the important machines used for paddy harvest. Harvest means cutting the paddy, collecting the grains. So after completing the crop, that is called harvest. So it harvests the crop, threshes and cleans the grain from chop. So actually in the previous, so these are different activities: cutting the paddy, bundling the chops, and threshing and cleaning the grain. These are different activities. So at the time farmers were used the laborers to do these activities, but now we are using a machine, one machine for these 3 activities at a time. At a time. So as it combines the activities of harvesting, threshing and winnowing, it is called combined harvester. You can see here. So this is the combined harvester. So at the same time it can cut the paddy, and it can thresh the seeds from the stem, and clean it and dump it in the tractor. Okay, so use of CH combined harvester helps in timely harvest of paddy. So most of the paddy harvest at a time in hundreds of acres. So to harvest the paddy, so farmers may face the shortage of workers. So everyone need labor to harvest the paddy at a time. So it is very difficult. So if you use combined harvester, so we can harvest paddy in time. It takes less time, reduces the crop loss and help the farmers to tackle the peak time labor shortage. These are the advantages. One is at the time of shortage of labors, we can use this, and it can save the time. So it can reduce the crop loss also. So these are the 3 benefits if you use the combined harvest. Okay, next, it also saves the crop farm at the time of weather changes in coastal regions of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. Further, the farmers are able to sow the second crop without much delay. Their dependency on laborers is also reduced. Now all the farmers are facing shortage of labor, so that's why it can replace in the place of labor. Okay, so next, a study on the use of combined harvester in 2003 reported the following: farmers are able to save about 1 quintal of grain per acre. So at the time of cutting, so with the help of laborers, they left some stems in the fields. So but if you use the combined harvester, so they can save the 1 quintal. 1 quintal means nearly 1500 to 2000 they can save money. Okay, next, which would have been otherwise lost during manual harvesting. Combined harvest operators charge about 1100 to 1400 per day. 1100 to 1400 per day. So large farmers are able to earn money by hiring out their combined harvester. So who are having 10 acres or 15 acres, they can hire the combined harvester for day, and they can harvest their fields within that day. Means they can save much money. If they employ the laborers, they have to pay more than this amount. Okay, next. Combined harvesters harvests paddy fields of about 1 acre in 1 hour. It can cut the paddy in 1 hour. If this was done manually, 5 agricultural laborers might have been required to work for 4 days. If you pay at least 100 rupees or 200 rupees to each laborer. So what is the cost of wages? 500 into 5 into 200 means 1000. 1000 into 4 days. You have to spend 4000 to harvest 1 acre. If you use laborers, if you use combined harvester, it can cut and thresh and clean the seeds within 1 hour. So they will charge only 1000 or 500 rupees per 1 hour. So that's why the farmers will get benefit by 3500 rupees, which is beneficial to the farmers. So instead of using laborers, so if they use combined harvester, they will get more benefit. That's why farmers now they are using combined harvester in paddy harvesting. Okay, if 10 laborers were employed, they would complete the task in 2 days. Suppose there are 250 agricultural laborers in a village which has 100 acres of paddy. If you take any one village, so how much paddy they are harvesting? 1000 acres of paddy cultivating in that village. How many laborers are there? 250 laborers, agriculture laborers are there in that village. If a combined harvester is used, if the machinery is used, it will complete the work, it will harvest the paddy in 55 days, working 18 hours every day. So we can work with the harvester, it is having lights and it will work with the help of petrol and diesel. Okay, so the drivers will be changed. So it can work for 18 hours per day, but laborers won't work that much long time. Okay, so if you use the harvester, it will complete the work in 55 days working 18 hours every day. So but each one of the 250 workers will lose 80 days of employment. So if you don't use the combined harvester, the 250 workers will get 80 working days. They will get 80 working days wages. But because of one harvester, 250 laborers are lose their 80 days of employment. This is very bad. So how the laborers will live in the villages? How will they get the employment in the villages if they use the machinery? Okay, next. Extensive farm mechanization is leading to displacement of laborers because of less working days. So these laborers, agriculture laborers or small farmers are looking for other employment sources. They are migrating, they are moving from villages to urban areas. Okay, so agriculture laborers and farmers working on others fields lose out to machines used in the farm. If people are not getting sufficient employment opportunities in villages, so they will move from villages to urban areas. Clear? Use of machinery also changed the nature of work done by agricultural laborers. Previously, agricultural laborers used for seeding, ploughing, and weeding, harvesting more. But now the nature of work was changed because of technology. So they have to adapt the changes. So they are required to learn driving tractors for various agricultural operations, and irrigating fields using pump sets, use of sprayers, applying fertilizers, work with harvesters and threshers. So the laborers also should change their working style. They have to adapt or they have to learn to work with the technology. In many small towns, workshops began to be established to repair agricultural machinery, which lead to the certain of new jobs. However, this is not enough to provide employment on a large scale. So, technology will create some jobs, but that not sufficient for the people. Next, technology and industry. How the technology impacts on industry. We'll discuss. Previously, we discussed about how the technology impacts on the agriculture. Now, on industry. So, textile industry consists of various activities involved in the process of making cloth. So, in the 7th class, we discussed about handlooms in Pochampalli. So, how Jagataya family worked on handlooms to prepare the saris. Okay. So, now today about 10 crore people are working in different segments of textile industry, either in handlooms or on power looms or in mills. So how many? 10 crore people are working. So the textile industry is the second largest employer after agriculture in India. So at present also 60% of the people are depending on agriculture. So next largest employer after agriculture is textiles. Next, impact of textile mills. So before independence, so we used handlooms to weave the saris and other clothes. So after Britishers, the Britishers introduced power loom, the loom which is run by power, electricity, that is called power loom. Power loom production in India, when the mill started making cloth, the demand for the handloom weavers cloth dropped. Why? So the handloom cloth cost is more, it takes more time to weave, it cannot produce more cloth. So because of these limitations, there was more cost. But now the mills are producing more cloth with cheaper rate. That's why the demand of handloom weavers cloth dropped. This happened over many years. Later the mill started facing competition from power loom clusters that began operating from small workshops. Now power loom have more demand. A major difference between a power loom unit and mill producing cloth is the scale of operation. We will see what is the difference between power loom and mill. So a mill or factory. Factory means a large unit which is having number of power looms and number of workers. Under one shed is called a factory or mill. So a mill or a factory may have hundreds of looms in a large space. It is a factory complex employing tens and hundreds of workers in different sections. So more power looms will be there and more production they will get. Okay. A power loom unit will have only a small number of workers and established at home with a few looms or in a relatively smaller space such as an workshop sheds. So when you compare with the factory, power loom unit is very small and it have less power looms and less workers. So it may work under a sheds or at homes. So most mills produce very high quality cloth. whereas power looms mostly produce low or average quality cloth. That is the difference between mill and power loom. Mill produce very high quality cloth. Power looms may produce low and average quality. So in power looms, either in mill or at home, so a wide variety of fabrics are produced, such as shirting, shootings, sari, dhoti, sheetings, towels, chadar, furnishing, shawls, blankets, etc. So we cannot produce all these items in handlooms. Okay, in power loom or in mill, mostly in power loom only. So we can produce different type of clothes and made out of cotton, blended, synthetic, silk and wool yarn. We can use different materials. So these are the changes in the mills or factories because of technology. So impact of power loom. So in 1940s, there were only 40,000 power looms were there. Now nearly 5 lakh power loom units run with 23 lakh looms in India. So because of technology, the power looms are increased. Previously we used only hand looms. Now we are using power, electricity to run the loom. That's why power looms are increased. Most units are small, having 1 to 8 looms. Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra and Gujarat have a large number of power looms units. Nearly 50,000 power looms are being operated in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh at Pochampalli, Gadwal. In some areas in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we are using power looms to produce the cloth. So you can see the pie chart here. In the year 1888, 89, the production of cloth in 88 and 89. So we'll see. So hosiery at home, only 11% of cloth was produced. In power looms, 55% of cloth was purchased by using the power looms. In mills, only 20% of cloth was produced, and hand looms only 14% cloth was produced in 88 and 89. So here more percentage of cloth was produced in power looms, by power looms. Clear? Next, in the year 2010 and 11, production of clothes in 2010 and 11, what is the situation we will discuss. So hosiery was reduced up to 4%. Previously 11% was there production, but now decreased it to 4%. Okay. Next, power looms 63%. In the year 1889, the share was 55%. Now the power loom share was increased. The production was increased. Next, mills was very slight difference is there. In 88, 89 and 2010 and 2011, only 1% increased. In mills, hand looms also decreased. In 88, 89, the production from hand looms is 14%. Now that is decreased to 12%, 2% decreased. Which is increased? Power looms. Power loom production was increased more. Okay. Next. So since 1980s, power looms account for the largest share of cloth production in India, and their share is increasing over the year. So power looms have moved from large mills to small sheds and houses and have brought about many changes in the textile industry. So previously where the hand looms were used, in that place they are using power looms now. So power looms now moved from large mills or large sheds to small houses or small sheds. Okay. Many changes in the textile industry. Nearly 60 lakh people employment through power looms. So power looms are provided 60 lakhs employment in our India. Okay, so next, how the handlooms are declined, so we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.